I was recently having a conversation with a lady, and I don't remember exactly what we were talking about. And she said, I struggle with this. And the way she said the word struggle, it was like it's put a little stickum on the side of my head that I want to think about that word. We all have this thing, this experience we call struggle. Some of us, it's every other minute. Some daily, hourly, weekly, monthly. And I suppose maybe there's some that don't know what that word is. But I'd like to investigate that word, struggle, and kick it around, because I think it's very common. It's a common experience that all of us have. When we first consider the word struggle, maybe our first thought is, it's a curse. It's a terrible thing. But I don't think it is. I think struggle is absolutely necessary. It's important. And I think that struggle is actually a symptom of change, a symptom of expanded awareness, a symptom of greater understanding, of growth. When you feel like you're having struggle going on inside of your head or your heart, maybe it would do us well to take a step back and analyze what this struggle's about. What are the opposing or conflicting thoughts or forces at work here? Oftentimes, it's that pesky subconscious that has recorded everything in our lives and likes to repeat what it knows. But we learned something different yesterday, and we might try that out. Well, our subconscious doesn't think that's necessary at all. It has all the answers. Thus, a struggle. Sometimes, perhaps that struggle is one that I have had many, many times over the years when it comes to Sunday morning. I struggled for years with all of the indoctrination and training of the Methodist Church. And that was an opposing force of other things that I had learned, other things that I had experienced. And it was a struggle for a long time. And then it dawned on me, I didn't have to struggle. If I kept my conscious mind on the present rather than the past, I didn't have to throw any of that stuff away. I didn't have to judge it. I could purely use what I consciously decide to use. I learned a great many things about religion, about theology, about right living, about this unseen we call God or Spirit or the divine. I certainly wouldn't want to throw that away. But some of the ritual I choose not to use or follow. Sometimes this thing called struggle is whim versus wisdom. And I have a lot of struggle with that, as I'm sure maybe other people do. Oh, wow, I'd like to do that. And the wisdom says, oh, probably not a wise choice, Patrick. We take the time to investigate rather than stay in the drama and the conflict. Back up. Yes, there's a conflict. What is the conflict? What are the opposing viewpoints here? Why am I feeling this struggle? In our nation, Ananda just went and did what he thought he should do concerning our climate change, global warming, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of struggle involved in our society today, in our world. I heard a great analogy once that these painful struggles that we're having as a society, as a human being, as a community, if we stop looking at them as this dreaded, painful process, perhaps we could look at them as labor pains, as our society, as our personal self is about to give birth to a newer, more enriching consciousness. The struggle of change. These struggles, I think, are so valuable. We should pay attention as we work through them, however we do it. Different for every person. Every person has different struggles, but they are valuable because when you have that condition of struggle, when you have that experience, something is changing. Something is moving. Something is causing thought. You have conscious question. And each one of us has to figure it out for ourselves. I chose an inquiring mind this last Friday called Harmonic Wealth. And I think one of the things we may choose to factor in when we're working through these challenges, through these struggles, not knowing, should I stay with the old or go with the new? Should I think about this or should I think about that? Perhaps we could add to the question, which choice will bring about the most harmony in my life, in my soul? Which choice will bring about the most harmony in my family, in my community? The more harmony that exists within you affects the harmonic wealth and energy in our community and in our universe. So I don't think we have to avoid the struggles. I think they're a very necessary part of learning, of changing, of improving, of polishing, of evolving. But I think if we can ask ourselves the question, what is the conflict? And identify the conflict and consider that and ask ourselves, what brings about more harmony in my life, in my mind, in my heart, in my family, in my community? There shall always be struggle as long as people continue to think more for themselves. I invite you to read the quotes at the bottom of the page and take home the words to our music today. I think they are wonderful words. And don't avoid the struggles. Engage them. There is much to be learned. There is much to see as we change, as we expand our awareness, as we increase our level of understanding, as we learn that we are divine. We are one with every single atom in this universe. There shall always be struggle. Embrace it, engage upon it, and learn from it. And so it is.